Yeah.
Right, okay, that's gone live. Let's hope it doesn't freeze again. Frankly,
Basically, yeah. And like you say, it's not your internet. It's nothing like that, is it?
no, the internet's fine. Software seems to be working fine.
Okay. What time are we going? 5 minutes, is it? Or
Yeah, I've started the stream just in case because obviously we've got the delay as well. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you saw the. Yeah. Don't know.
yeah, I don't think it's a software glitch because I don't think it's the actual Gamescaster software that was messing up. I think that's a game issue.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was thinking about the
Oh,
stream.
the start. Yeah, it wouldn't get off the start screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not had. Well, I've never. No, I mean, I've never had one that's been quite that bad. The odd game freeze every now and then, but it lasts a minute maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a few, but not
But
nothing too desperate. And then it allows you to go to the settings, and then you're all right again.
yeah, that one just wouldn't play, and then when it came back, it froze again almost immediately. So it's just unworkable, really.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can. Well, I basically shut everything down, restarted the computer, and started again from scratch. So hopefully that'll do it.
Right. Okay.
Um, See if that works, and if it doesn't, then well, there's no. I mean, there's nothing. The emulator's up and running. I mean, there's no update for it to do. It's not messing about with anything.
No.
It's just decided not to play ball this evening. Well, I hope it was
Yeah.
just. I hope it was just for the first game, and we get something out of it.
Yeah. What are we on next? Miramar. Oh Christ. That's going to test it.
That will certainly do it. Yeah, rendering on Miramar's a pain best of times.
Yeah. All right. So if we're going in a few minutes, so when do you want me to mute, or are we?
Oh, we've already been live, mate. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I had to start it off straight away anyway. So,
Okay. Cool.
shut all the software down, restart everything.
I will be back in a moment. I'm just going to mute my mic.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay, well, apologies for the game crash in game at number 1 there. We're going to try this again. Basically shut everything down, restart it, and see if we can try and put something together for you in game number 2. Not entirely certain what happened. I think it was a game software. Everything else seems to be operating properly, so... Right, let's. All we can do is give it a go and hope it doesn't happen again.
Well, we're on the plane.
We're on the plane, and yeah, we got the map. So here we go.
A fairly benign flight path from Miramar, so we've got just a fairly standard west to east, Monte Nuevo to El Azahar. Everywhere that's reachable in the sort of centre band of the map. I'd imagine we'll see some teams coming down towards Valdemar, some coming down to Los Leones, up to Campo Militar. But apart from that, it's probably going to be the likes of Picado, San Martin, water treatment that will attract a lot of people. Maybe someone coming down to Chumacera.
Well, we've got a couple of early exits, north and south.
So bank account and Los Tiesos, 13 and 21.
Everything seems to be... I'm more paranoid about things not working at this point.
Yeah, don't worry. You sit there chewing your nails, mate.
Yeah. So we've got a fairly even distribution, people jumping north and south of the flight line.
Yeah, so no one around Monte Nuevo. I don't think there's anyone around Power Grid either. We've got 2 teams coming down to Chumacera. And bank account team 13 have got the sort of very southwest around Valdemar to themselves. They've split into sort of a 2-1-1 just for the looting phase. Team 11, team 14 going up to Cruz de Val by the looks of it.
Yep, and there's our first circle, so fairly central.
Yep, so there's only a few teams that are going to be outside zone. And I'm sure they'll find a vehicle, those that survived the initial fights. Because we've got a few squads where we've got a couple of teams together.
14 and 11 not too far away from each other. And looks like we might be into some early action in Picado. Yeah, that's
excellent, that's what we like.
So we have Invictus.
Rendering.
Invictus against Gen Esports here, by the look of it.
Yep, so looks like they're going to start. I noticed that Gen Esports have landed on sort of the outskirts of Picado, around some of the smaller buildings, and Team 24 Invictus have taken the central area of Picado, the main arena and the large apartments. So whether that was planned by Gen or whether that was the reaction to what Team 24 did, I don't know.
We'll quickly jump up with B4V. Looks like they were getting into a fight with somebody.
Yeah, I didn't see who, but there's they've got. I think I saw they've got 1 team kill. So whether that was just a lone scout from another squad, they've got all of Team 8 over there. I'm not sure who they took then.
Probably, I think it was just a scout.
So these guys just getting some loot, feeling each other out, not pushing too hard. Although we've got 2 players now, and 2 players from Team 24 now pushing the casino.
Yeah, and that is Ibiza being knocked. So Fex here, out the window.
And I think he's... Yeah.
So that's 2 kills established already now for the guys from Invictus.
Yeah, so I think the Gen team, they're going to be rotating out of here if they can, although Caps might be a little bit stuck here. I don't think he's... might be able to if he can keep the buildings between him and Invictus.
Well, it looks like... I think Fex is probably just heading in the direction of his teammate, but potentially looking to get out. Caps probably just keeping an eye on what's happening with Invictus over there if they're looking to pursue this aggressively, which at this moment in time it doesn't appear that they are.
No, they might be thinking that the rest of the team are over in that sort of small apartments area. Maybe they didn't see where they landed.
Okay, let's check up the situation at the north. We're here with Hazard Gaming, and they're potentially going to be getting into a fight with Bad Boys. And certainly got a quick look at B2 Knight there.
Yep, nicely on the roof there.
And one knock already established.
That's a very low rock to be reviving behind with no smokes. So it sounds like a Winchester being put to good use there. But yeah, Team 11, bad boy team, BB there. Nicely spread. And just holding Team 14 off at the moment.
And here we are with GC. And looks like they're potentially getting into a gunfight with Ross Squad, who we saw earlier. And right, okay, Cold from GC has already been taken out. And that is King Yang now also knocked. So
Yep,
just
and I'm
one.
wondering if Team 9 will push that.
GC player trying to get some spray working on the guys coming across the road there from Ross Squad.
Yeah, just trying to protect his player. So, but no, Team 9, they're going to get the revive on, so they're going to be a full-strength team again very soon.
And he can see his teammate just off to his left there, but it's a fair distance across a lot of open ground to try and get to him.
Yeah, and Team 9 know exactly where both players are now. Now, whether they can rotate around the far side of that hill.
Trying to put a few rounds towards Buster there.
So there they go. They're going up the hill now. I think they're just coming up behind him now.
So we're here with Buster and may well have a quick look here. No, he's taken some rounds though. Oh. And has in fact been knocked. Nice knock there.
Yeah, so that's some great work from. Unfortunately, I don't know the name, but the team from GW, sorry, GC Faith Killer, putting some great shots in there.
And looks like his teammate has now bled out, so we'll be going through the rest of this game as a solo. And potentially looking to get out of this one, which can't say I blame them.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, conversely, it might actually help this player a little bit, because now he's not having to worry about his teammate. He can play a solo game, and he can just play against the other team, not having to worry about what he does for his teammate.
Just carrying on with the looting, but getting a few rounds in as he carries on. And looks like we've got a vehicle rotation coming in from at least two of the players from Roz Squad.
Yep, so coming in right behind him now.
And there's rounds coming in. Drops to the deck, but it's not going to happen. And UCU getting the final kill, so that's the team wipe. Well done to the guys from Roz Squad there. So we're down to 60 players left alive, 17 teams still contesting. And here we are with Arsenic Esports, and looks like they're potentially getting into it with some of the guys from Paradox, PDX.
And Noble X stopping on the hillside, nearly getting taken there by Genio from Arc.
Two of the guys from Arsenic Esports already been taken out.
So I think Paradox now coming for the rotation. Are they coming for a push? I think they might be, with the four of them against the two of Arsenic. Quite spread out.
Yeah, there's a lot of distance between these two players.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whereabouts did they go? Are they rotated it? I think actually Team 15. I think Paradox have actually rotated out completely. I thought they were going for a rotation around Team 22, but it looks like they've just got out of there.
Okay, so straight back into it with Los Tiesos. Squad number 21, and looks like they are exchanging rounds with the guys from Nemesis Gaming.
Yeah, I wonder what... Oh, he's got a decent scope here on the M24. So right on the edge of zone. I think where are they? Up in sort of the northwest area of the zone, around the crater fields. These guys trying to put some long distance shots on.
Just
A little
using
far
this,
away to be any push. But
just using this reverse slope here as a little bit of cover, potentially trying to get the guys to engage. Well, I don't think. So look, they've got their having a quick look at it. I think he just caught a quick glimpse there. Yep.
Yeah. So he knows where they're heading now. Got a good bit of information. He knows they're safe for a moment, and they can rotate round to the other side of the mountain. As Team 21 try and see if they trying to push them. No, it looks like they're all going to have to rotate into zone. That's quite a hard zone shift for for phase 2.
Okay, we're here with Raindrop and exchanging flyer with TipTop CN1, team number 16.
And you see Team 16, they've got a nice spread here. They've got this play here, just keeping these guys busy. And the others are coming in down the side as well.
And some spray coming into the flanking guys from TipTop.
So we see a solo doing a great job of holding up a few players, while the others then flank round the side.
Goes for the shot with the M24 there, but takes a fair bit of damage in return. And now taking some flanking fire as well.
Yeah, CM1 doing an excellent job. Oh, iron sight with the Star L as well.
AK doing some tap fire with the SLR there.
Yeah, just taking out the tyres on the buggy. These guys, the slightest of peaks here, they're not giving them a lot to shoot at. But we've seen Raindrops, they've already got, I think it was, what, 5 team kills or even this early? Hey, some accurate shooting with an iron sight there.
Certainly putting these guys from Raindrop under some pressure here.
There's no one else around them that I can see as well, so they can concentrate on this fight. They've got a good spread here as well, so they're fighting on 2 flanks. They're making sure that Raindrop can't just concentrate on defending one side. But Raindrop, they're making themselves hard targets. They're not making sure they don't peek, or if they do, it's for a split second.
Well,
it's not often you see an iron sight on Miramar from that distance. That is some really good shooting. That is. I think we see someone out in the background there. Actually, they're starting to push here.
So Rainkiller has taken quite a bit of damage, and or is he not? Let's just check on that.
Yep,
no, he's just taking
he's just healing up.
Just taking quite a bit of damage though, and hasn't healed up. So potentially, no, doesn't have the meds.
And I think that's the last of the smokes. Yep, that's it. Now they're in zone, so they don't have to worry about that coming in. But he really needs some help from his teammates here. This player from CM1 doing a great job holding up the whole.
AK putting some rounds in, but AK also taking some rounds from behind there. He's in a difficult situation, got surrounded by 4 of the players from Raindrop here.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the team for Raindrop will be able to push this player now, whether the rest of Team 16 have been able to rotate enough. In fact, no, here, I think they're coming with the push now.
And AK certainly has been badly isolated off here, but in they come. Managed to put some rounds in, but has now been knocked and taken out. Just a little bit too separated off from his teammates there.
Yep, AK being a thorn in the side of Raindrop 19 for long enough. They finally managed to push and take him out.
So nade goes out from Forever there.
Doesn't quite establish the knock with that.
And looks like these guys want to rotate out, but they'll certainly draw some fire as they do so.
Yep, they're ditching the vehicle now. They're in zone. They would have liked to have kept that. So Forever have come in to support KK.
And that was a great nade, taking a big chunk out of KK down there. So more nades going out. KK has managed to get some meds in.
Great cover and fire there. There's another nade coming in, and this one does connect.
And that one connects, and that is a knock. So it's just Forever on his feet now for this, and that nade clears up that one. So Forever now on his own against the squad from Raindrop here, and you feel that he's got to get pushed on very aggressively now, which he is.
Absolutely. And they've got the push round the right hand side from I think it's that Barbecue from Raindrops.
Manages to establish a knock on one though. Great gunfight from Forever there. Quickly trying to get some meds in, but here comes Rain Kid. And manages to put the knock on him as well. Switches out his guns to the AK. Gets the third knock. And thirsts up. Oh, what a piece of gunfighting from Forever there.
Yeah, what he wouldn't do for a nade right now where the revive's just going.
Manages to get another thirst. Hits the deck, gets the nade out. And potentially now getting third partied. And that was a great gunfight brought to an end there. Kind of.
Esports coming in just to spoil the party.
Yeah, he'd have certainly had some bragging rights if he'd have managed to establish the full squad wipe there, but some great gunfighting from Forever nonetheless.
That was some brilliant gunfighting there. Yeah, and Arsenic Esports just coming in the right place at the right time, watching it all happen, and then just getting the final kill.
And that really has knocked the wind out of Rain, because now there were two players down after that one. Now they've got a player knocked. Looks like they're in the middle of a gunfight with Vengeance.
Yep, Vengeance now, though, they're rotating away from this.
We've still got Arsenic Esports around here somewhere. So, yeah, what was initially a medium-range engagement between two teams ended up having having four teams involved, and a great piece of individual gunfighting.
Yeah, brilliant bit of skill there to take out the three players. Couldn't quite get the fourth, and yeah, so Arsenic coming in.
And yep, Killer here attempting to get the res onto his teammate.
Yeah, and Team 23, Vey Victis, just come straight past. I think their scouts just come straight past just as the revive was going on. I'm wondering if they may have heard the footprints. And
yeah, there's boxes all over the place around here. Okay, let's quickly check out the situation on the rest of the map. So it looks like we're going to be in and around the outskirts of Los Leones. A lot of people still got to rotate. And they're right in the middle. We've got Team Big.
Absolutely, and they've got some of the most westerly part of Los Leones, the buildings that overlook a lot of ground here. And the way that the zone's broken, this could be really vital real estate here.
So we're here with No Mercy from Paradox, and these guys certainly know that they've got players around them.
Absolutely. So these guys fighting over what could be absolutely vital ground here for the late stage of the game. Because even if the zone doesn't break here, they can see over it. They've got hard cover across a lot of open ground. So it's worth the risk of fighting for this ground here. And we see another squad coming in, one from the right, one from the left, out in the distance there.
I'd imagine these guys looking to potentially consolidate their positions, but you never know. Somebody gets a knock, good nade goes in, can very quickly change.
Absolutely. Paradox have got the height here with this building, but Big have got really where you want to be, which is further towards the centre zone. They can see better across the rest of the zone.
Okay, so we're starting to now get the rest of our teams rotating into this circle. And we're here with Bad Boys, Knight, BT Knight from Bad Boys, and looks like he's got a number of players around him.
Yep, he's under a lot of pressure here. One knock has already been established. That was an unfortunate bounce. Actually, the smoke there just bounced off the doorstep there.
All right, we've got guys from squad number 8 very, very close here, but they're not going to push him just yet.
No, they're getting the revive on their teammate, and then they're going to push in as a 3, I think. They've also got someone coming in. They've got another player coming in as well. So these guys now are 4, and we've also got a team from behind Knight there. Team 20 coming in.
There's our next zone break, and as everybody struggles to come into this zone, there's gunfights going up absolutely everywhere.
So I don't know who got the knock, but one of the teammates has been knocked now.
So the rest of Bad Boys still getting into it with squad number 8 here. So It's a 2-on-2 effectively, but the other guys from Bad Boys looking to rotate in from the high ground. Looks like a knock has been established now on Knight.
Yep, and Crazy's been knocked as well by the looks of very long health.
But Duck manages to put some rounds into one of the guys from Team Big there, gets the knock. Looking to get to his teammate.
On the hill providing some cover as well.
And straight through the window, but has in turn been knocked. So Rudy is now the only member of this squad still on his feet.
So he's going to have to, if he's going to get his teammates up, we've got Team 6 coming in from the left here, the Vengeance. I wonder if they're going to come in and join the fight, or whether they're going to stay just far enough that they can try and third party. We've also got Team 20, Genesis, looking to get involved as well.
So here we are with squad number 6, Vengeance. Certainly overlooking this fight between Bad Boys.
Yeah, and all of these guys
Stardust.
are going to be out of zone in 5 seconds when the zone starts to shift.
Phase 5 of the game can't really afford to be out in this for any length of time.
No, these guys are going to start to struggle soon with the knocks that have come in. I don't think they're all going to make it out of here. In fact, a couple of Team 11 have been finished off now, so it's just Rudy coming in to try and see if he can help out. He's going to be taken out. Yep, so Spectre takes down Duck.
Spectre taking some out. Raindrop Esports rotating through that one, but taking a knock for it. And now everybody's going to get pushed on by the blue, so these guys have all got to make their way in, and it's going to be one hell of a congested area around here.
Yep. Unfortunately, the way the zone broke, he can't use the slope there. He's going to have to go further than perhaps he would have wanted to. Just use the side of that slope. And the zone's broken. And again, Team 9, Ross Squad, slightly lucky, but look at that, brilliant, how they're holding the top of that slope. They're spread out, but only so much as they need to hold each slope.
But absolutely everybody coming into this same area of the map. We're here with Team Big. But, yep, certainly the guys from Ross Squad doing their very best to hold this ground just inside of circle.
So just as important as finding the right area is holding it and making sure that you can see all around you. So they've established a good wide split. They've got 2 players into the next zone already. But it also means that everyone is coming for their bit of land.
Absolutely. And basically everybody's facing gunfights on multiple flanks here. Doing their very best to make their way along this high ground and get into the zone, but taking some rounds.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. They held the advantage briefly, but just the sheer number of people. We've still got 9 teams, 19 alive in what is phase 6 of the game, and yeah, it's a very congested zone now. Using any sort of slight dune or hump they can to get cover.
Blue is now starting to move in. We've also got the guys from Paradox Gaming over there taking some severe damage. Paradox been taken out. So we're down to 5 teams left alive, 10 players.
So we've got Team 21, LT, which is Los Tiesos, with I think only one player remaining, but that one player is just about the only one that's in zone.
So these guys are really going to have to start to move soon. Trying to do their best to get some meds on, but any breaking cover is going to be met with a hail of gunfire.
Yeah, and we also see from Team 6, the Vengeance.
And that's Danny Boy, and yeah, that is Team Big, I think, taken out. So here we are back again with Romanian squad. Putting some rounds towards our friends from Bay Victus, who have also managed to just make the edge of circle.
Yep, so Buster on his own, pushing Team 23.
Looking to finish this one up.
Not with you, Steve.
And you have to say that Roz squad look in a very, very good position here.
Absolutely, he knows exactly where these players are. He knows that one's been revived, and he's ready for them. As soon as they have to push into zone, we're down to our final 2 teams now.
Guys with Bay Victus have to break cover and move into it. Haven't got any choice at this stage of the game using the cover of the smoke. We're down to 2 teams now, so it's going to come down to...
Oh, just when you don't want the smoke to run out.
It's going to come down to Bay Victus and Ross squad here, and yep, W009 establishing the knock. Takes some rounds, but manages to get some cover.
I think we've actually got a 1v1 here because we've got Team 9 have got 2 knocked. I think one might be getting the revive on. So Buster giving good information back. He'll know where this player is.
So Buster has now been thirsted up. So we're literally down to 3 players left alive. Nades going out. We are phase 8 of the game. 20 seconds and it starts to move in on us again.
Yeah, so this player from Team 23 is, 14 metres out of zone, and I think the other 2 are going to be about the same. So this could be a final push into the end circle.
Desperately looking for more nades, potentially more meds.
Yeah, he's got 6. Oh, there we go.
Out go the nades. So, and yep, blue is going to start to push anytime now. So we will very quickly be pushing into phase 9 of the game. So one way or another, this is all going to be over in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, so here we go. Plenty of smoke and nades going out up against the 2 players who are still very close to each other here.
Putting in some rounds there, puts a big hurt on one of the players from Ross squad, comes over the top. But I think, yep. I think the guys from Roz Squad took it there, held that ground fantastically at the end, certainly had to fight for it, and a very spirited gunfight from Bay Victus there, but fantastic work from Roz Squad to take the chicken dinner. So Roz Squad take it in first. They take 15 kills for that team. Fantastic work. In second place, we have Bay Victus, and they take 6 kills. And in third place, Los Tiesos with 2 kills. Now, our individual kill leaders there, we've got 3 players, by the look of it, sharing 5 kills in our top 3. We'll just have a quick scan down the rest of the leaderboard, see if you've got anybody who's beating that as an individual kill score. We've got another 5 there from Caps from Jen. Buster UCU and KDW009, quite a name that one, from Paradox also taking 5. 12 all the way down, nobody lighting it up down there. A couple of people with 2 kills, but no, it looks like the 4 players sharing 5 kills there, taking top fragger. So fantastic performance from Roz Squad there in holding that high ground. We're going to take a very, very short break, and we'll be back with you shortly for a bit of post-game and a bit of analysis before heading into game number 3. We'll see you shortly. Bye for now. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. And after the technical nightmares of game number one, managed to get hold of cracking action there in game number two, Jamie.
Absolutely, yeah. Action all the way through it. We saw some brilliant team play, some brilliant individual gunplay as well. Team 9 Ross squad in the end with the win. And what they did is they held the ground very well. Vivictus, was it KWW009, sorry, with a brilliant individual effort there. Nearly took it, but the numbers counted in the end.
Yep, absolutely. Although I have to give a bit of a shout out for everything happening so quickly there. I've forgotten which player it was, the gunfight recovery on the hill there, where he just about managed to get three knocks established on the team that had been pushing for quite a while. It was,
It was CN1.
yeah, it was one of the players from CM1, I think.
Yeah.
And then to get third partied right at the end by Arsenic Esports, just when he was on the push to try and get the squad right. But some fantastic individual gunfight in there. But certainly the zone control at the end. I mean, obviously numbers do make a huge part of it. Ross squad went in at that fight with three, but they certainly had to fight very, very hard to maintain that position on that ridge, and also use it to move into the zone in the very final phases of the game.
Absolutely, and we saw Buster. He got taken out in the end by. I'm going to shorten it to 009
Yeah.
from PDX. So apologies. But what he did is he made sure he knew where those two players were. He established the knock originally, pushed that, and just made sure that when the final zone came, there weren't two players coming at him. There was only one. So yes, he got taken out in the end, but it meant that it was a 1v2 in the end as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely fantastic work from my point of view. I was having heart palpitations just waiting for the game to crash again. So glad that didn't happen. That was enough excitement for me, as well as watching all that bunch of lunatics running around shooting at each other, which is exactly why we do it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic work there from Ross Squad on game number two. Okay, game number three. Going to be starting in just a few minutes, and one of my favourite squad maps, Jamie. We're on Vikendi.
Yeah, I know it's pretty much your favourite to play on.
Yeah,
Vikendi, it holds a bit of everything. This map, which I know is why you love it.
yeah, I do. I mean, I think it's a map where, I mean, having said that, we haven't had too many dull games on Miramar recently. We've had some absolutely cracking games on Miramar, but sometimes Miramar games can turn into a bit of a sniper fest with people engaging each other at long range. Whereas you can sometimes get a little bit of that on Vikendi, but you also get the mix of very aggressive zone shifts, fast rotations having to come in, compound to compound fighting, and fast vehicle crashes into a building where everybody starts fighting out in the stairs and jumping out of windows. So, I mean, the combination of all the different types of gameplay there is what I think makes Vikendi an exciting map.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some epic finishes on Vikendi in the past, even if it's just out in the open, but in particular, like you say, the courtyard at, I can't remember which town it was, but the courtyard in the middle of the town.
Volnova.
Volnova, sorry, yeah. And as you say, people jumping out of windows, coming into the ice cream stands and the kiosks in the middle using the barrels. And I think there were sort of 5 teams left, and it was just an absolutely epic finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the mix of terrain and the different types of buildings, and places like Cosmodrome. You've got some mad places in Vikendi.
Yeah.
And then of course the one that the streamer's favourite about Vikendi is the Phase 1 zone.
Well, that's always a factor. Quite frequently, I mean, it happens too frequently for it to be almost random. But it does appear sometimes that the first zone shift on Vikendi, because Vikendi not really. I mean, in comparison to the other maps, obviously excluding Sarnok, but it's not a particularly huge map.
It's not, no.
But that first zone shift can take half of it out in a single fell swoop, and say for example it shifts aggressively south, takes with the largest part of it out in the ocean there. Then anybody who's sort of jumped north up towards the port area, all of a sudden finds they have quite a lengthy rotation to make, and not always the easiest map to drive on as well. So you do have a bit of everything on Vikendi.
Absolutely, and also what you find is we've seen some fairly benign flight paths so far, just sort of middle of the map, everywhere's reachable. Vikendi, you tend to get a sort of almost like sort of slicing the top off the map. You know, you might got a very northerly flight path, and then you've got a very, very southerly zone. And it's not just the fact it's the direction the zone's gone in; it's the fact that a third of it is probably water.
Yeah,
So it's unusable. So it's the size of the zone as well. And you get some really exciting rotations, get a lot of action around you at the edge of zone as people trying to rotate into a much smaller zone than it should actually be.
yeah. I've worked out what the glitch was in game 1.
Go on.
It's I hexed it. I got myself a new headset today, which I'm immensely chuffed with. First time I've ever worn it, and I hexed the game. That's it.
Okay.
I think the dark side hexed the game there, Jamie.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, he's got himself a
Nice
Stormtrooper headset.
Star Wars Stormtrooper headset, very nice. And first time I've ever worn it, and the game crashes, so I might have to go back to my old headset, I think.
Yeah.
It's obviously
it's a good job you don't shoot with that headset because they're famous for their bad aim.
Yeah, they are. They I must admit they weren't particularly precise, were they?
Maybe that does explain a lot about a certain person's gameplay.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for that.
Which is why you like the up close and personal, because you don't have to aim.
Yeah. Don't tend to do a lot of that. Just sort of spray and pray, really. Yeah.
If you're close enough, you don't even need to worry about that, do you?
Not really, no. So, yep. Looking forward to some more exciting gameplay. Certainly got some excellent teams in the lobby, and that last phase of play. I mean, I think we did actually have a look at it, didn't we? I think coming into phase 7 of the game, we had about 19 players still up, 10 teams. Very, very exciting stuff.
Absolutely, and then 10 seconds later, we're down to 5 teams. That's the sort of thing that happens when you get these fairly open final zones. Yes, there were a few hills here and there, but there was no hard cover. People having to rotate out. We saw a couple of teams fighting over the last bit of hard cover to the west of Los Leones, and even they were out of zone. It was the team 9 that took the high ground and held it, and they made sure they were able to move in as well.
Okay, so hopefully our game should be starting soon. So we've got the countdown clock working, so that means we're rendered in properly, hopefully. 75 players in the lobby. Come on, and here we go. We're on the plane.
That's a good start. So let's see what the.
There we go.
Very southerly flight path.
Southern flight path, and looks like we're going from east to west, and we're going to be over the Vihar area. So certainly Castle, Volnova, Hot Springs, Villa is also in range from there.
Yeah, so a lot of places in range. I mean, it's not too far to be able to get to the northern areas either. Sort of Peshkova, Cosmodrome, Krichas coal mine area, and you can rotate further north, but it's a bit of a gamble because you've got to get the vehicle, you've got to rotate that far, and you don't know where the zone's going to be. So we see a lot of teams on Vikendi do tend to hover around the central area.
Yeah, I know coastal jumps are quite popular on Vikendi, but if you hard shift either north or south, I mean that first zone can really put you under pressure. So we'll see where people are going.
So Team 15 and Team 12, I think that is. So that's Paradox and GC Killers up on the eastern side, heading up to Peshkova. These 3 teams fairly spread out on the southern area.
We're here with team number 24. That is Invictus, and looks like these guys have dropped Villa. I don't think they've got anybody with them though, Jamie.
Unusual. I mean, I know in classics, Villa's a very hot drop, but we usually get a couple of teams that's similar to sort of boot camp, milli base, and some good some good loot.
Actually, pretty quiet around the Villa area, so the guys from Invictus will be enjoying the benefits of that, no doubt. We've got squad number 22, Arctic Esports, not too far away. but choosing not to hit the compound. Probably going to get looted up, see if there is anybody in Villa, and decide whether or not they want to take it on and grab all their stuff.
They're probably waiting for gunfire because they'll be assuming there's more than one team over there. So there we go. Unusually, what we've got is a southern flight path and a southern first zone as well. And it's a fairly benign one.
That's right, and a lot of players who jump centre zone here, they don't have to move at all.
No.
That's a pretty good one for them.
You see teams like teams 15 and 12 over in the east, over at Peshkova way. They're going to have the hardest rotation, but very, very crowded around Cement Factory, Podvosto.
Okay, let's quickly check out our winners from our last game. Ros Squad. Looks like they've got team from Team Versailles. Not too far away.
Versailles, I'm not sure. But yeah. Up on the rooftops, getting some a good view there.
And some rounds going in now, and that is Buster knocked. Played a great game in game number 2, Buster, but has now been knocked.
Yep. So here we go. So down in the left of the screen here, we see the 3 players from Team 5 taking a little bit of damage, but just trying to get vision, just trying to get sights of the players who are kind of coming for the revive.
You got a couple of Gen guys also overlooking this one. So are we
working their way through the church?
Are we potentially looking at a push here?
I think they're just getting ready. Shushu there, just on the side, getting the angle.
And I think we are.
Possibly not sure which building they're in now. There we go. So switch to first person. In fact, Cosmin's taken down there.
And the guys from War Squad are taking a bit of a hammer in here. They've got 2 players down, 1 knocked, and Buster is now on his own. And you can imagine that team number 5, Versailles, they're going to be straight up these stairs. They're going to want to end this one.
Yep. And they'll know which building is in. They'll probably try and get some nades in that in.
Here we go. Straight through the window there.
Through the window.
Great move there.
Probably like Buster, I was not expecting that actually.
Nope.
I didn't see that coming.
Over the top of the roof, in the window there from Anger. So fantastic clear for these guys. They did lose a member doing it, but 4 kills. So great play from squad number 5 there.
Yeah, so clean them out, and as you say, you've got Jen there. You've got 1 player just around Podvosto. You've got 1 just north of Cement Factory, and then the other a little further away as well. Still a minute and a half to go before the first zone breaks.
And here we are with Hazard Gaming.
Ahmed taken down there. Team 18 with a nice wide line here.
Getting into it with Nemesis.
Plenty of angles on Team 14.
And certainly feeling it a little. Already lost 2 members, and bye-bye here is very, very low in health.
Armor. Yeah, no armor, no helmet, and I'm assuming no meds either.
No meds there.
And here comes the push.
So vehicle rotation comes round, draws some fire, and in comes the flank fire from behind. So great work there. And it looks like Poach, the last remaining member of that team, is doing his very best to get out of it.
Yep.
So some great early kills there also. Okay, let's look at our situation. And let's have a look at squad number 19. That's guys from Rain. And not too far away from our friends in Bad Boys. This team featured quite heavily in the latter stages of game number 2.
Yeah, these guys just trying to rotate away now, I think. They're not taking the fight on. They don't have a vehicle, so they're just trying to get away. Maybe head towards Dino Park or perhaps towards centre zone. With it being the first zone, it's a little early to try and guess where, you should try and hold. So they're just going to try and loot what they can. If they find a compound, then hold it.
Okay, here we are with the guys from Bay Victus getting into it with Vengeance. And Vengeance certainly putting the rounds to good effect there.
Yeah, so clearing out most of Victor's there.
And in fact, Valkyrie is the only member of this team now still up and running. And has decided to get straight in the water and attempt to get away from this one.
Yep, I wonder if they can see. They might know where Valkyrie is. I'm not sure.
Well, she certainly got she certainly got a look at them across the top of the cliffs there.
Yeah, good little hiding place, just enough to pop up and breathe. But it's going to be difficult to get up and around this headland here with the blue zone coming in.
All right, let's check out our friends from Rain again. Looks like they're potentially getting into it with Invictus, who dropped Villa earlier.
Yeah, so Invictus been able to loot Villa all on their own, get the pick of the loot and roughly centre zone as well.
So Invictus.
And it looks like we've got Team 13 as well heading.
Invictus
just past Villa, I think.
Yeah, they're just Victor's just holding onto this small compound. The guys in the vehicle rotations are attracting a little bit of fire. We've also got squad number 18 from Nemesis Gaming, not too far off this one.
Yep, and Invictus have established a knock here on Raindrop, on Kid.
On Rain Kid, there we go. Which is fairly quickly and ruthlessly cleared up.
Yep, with the molly as well.
But Rain aren't going out with that fight. They've now managed to establish a knock on Invictus.
Yeah, so Invictus came out, got the knock and the thirst on one of the Raindrop players who were responding fine.
And some great tap fire coming in with the SLR. And the guys from Squad 24 certainly not having it their own way here.
No, Bayou with some great work on the SLR there. These guys, they've got the cover of the vehicle. But if Squad 19 can separate out, maybe get an angle, I think Killer maybe just trying to do that.
And yeah, SKR certainly taking a few rounds there as he jumped up for a quick pop, and looks like we might have a flanking manoeuvre coming from Killer here.
Yeah, here we go. I wonder if they've got sight yet. They know Killer's over there somewhere. But the other two are still firing in. So getting the smokes out just for a bit of protection.
And that's great work. So BCS, SKR here, the only member of his team up and running.
Yep. And I think the push is going to come in now. You see Team 19 coming out for 3 angles.
However, there is a bit of third-party work going on.
And we saw that in Miramar. It happens a little less often in Vikendi distances.
So now Fairy, the only member still up and running. So despite dropping Villa unopposed and probably getting some great loot, these guys really under it now.
Yeah, it's really glad they're getting the med kits.
And that's it done. They manages to establish the knock on Rainkiller, and Rainkiller has in fact been taken out. The guys from Bad Boys here all over this situation. Potentially going to hit Rainkiller whilst they're at their weak and just coming out of a gunfight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we saw it on Miramar.
So managing
here, the last remaining player.
So managing to take the 3 kills there, but unfortunately lost their squads doing it. Some great third-party work and timing from the guys from Bad Boys here, really making pay for it.
Now, I wonder if Team 11 will go for a push here, or whether they're going to be a bit more... Not passive's not the right word. No, it looks like Duck's coming round, and... Yeah. I don't know, has Rain got a scope as well? Because he's got the Tommy gun there. Great for close-up, not so good for the long distance.
So Barbecue here, the only player still standing from Rain.
And we've got Team 14 just to the right as well, having a look at this. Would have heard the gunshots. So Hazard Poach, who managed to escape.
Yeah, but Hazard Poach is in fact only a single, so probably quite happy to maintain a low profile for the time being.
Yep, found some hard cover and using it well.
Okay, let's nip down to the south here. Looks like guys from LT, who came in third, I believe, in the last game, getting into it with CN1.
Yeah, so one knock already, and in fact, LT Hamo there, with excellent work blowing the snowmobile. And it looks like AKC up on the top of the hill.
And here we are with Forever, who put on a great display of individual gunfighting skills in our last game. Now coming under some third-party fire as well, though, from Vengeance.
Seems to be a feature tonight with the third party. And teams close enough to hear gunfire, they go and investigate and just wait until they've beaten each other up and just nick in at the last second.
So Forever here, somewhat separated from his teammates. But, still looking to get guns up, still looking to get eyes on. Takes a few rounds, but certainly now had a look at the player from LT.
Yeah, but he's also, as we saw, we've got Team 6 and also Team 8 as well coming in behind.
Manages to whack in the meds quickly. Switches out his guns. Goes to the M4. And he's done it again.
That's some great individual gunplay. Here we go.
And couldn't quite make that one. And I think there was a
teammate.
There was a slight there was a slight delay there. I don't know if he got caught with a reload, maybe, but yeah, he sort of seemed to have a slight delay before unloading with that Uzi because he'd already switched out his guns in the previous gunfight. So going for the reload, and that cost him, but almost pulling off the spectacular again. No doubt about it, though. Quite a dangerous gunfighter, that person.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see, okay, came in with the vehicle, didn't quite connect with the vehicle, had to jump out, which meant couldn't quite time it right to save his teammate. But now we see Team 6. So AK knows where Fears is. I'm not sure if he's seen the others as well.
We've also got
they're coming for a push and teammate behind as well.
Stardust Esports not too far away from this one, just to the north.
Now, in fact, the way the hills are, Team 6 and Team 8 can probably see each other better. In fact, yeah, the shots going out between the two teams here.
Yeah, that's rounds coming in from squad number 8 Stardust Esports on the high ground at that.
So this could work out well for CM1 AK. If these two do take each other out, or at least take chunks out of each other, he might be able to mop up. And it takes the focus away from him as well.
So it looks like these guys are going for their vehicles. Let's see what they're going to do. Alright, just getting a bit closer in. So they've got an overlook on the compound that CN1 were having a fight in earlier.
Can't quite make out AK from CM1. But they are looking, they know roughly where the Team 6 are. They've got the Vengeance.
And we could be getting into it here with guys from Vengeance. Here we go. And putting some rounds in there.
Yeah, just manages to duck behind the rock just quick enough there, Warper.
Here we are with Warper. And looks like it's just the two of them in the close proximity here.
And here comes the push.
And there we go. Great work coming from the flank there.
And Spectre trying to make his way out. They are getting gunshots on, but he's found some hard cover.
And here with Fears. So we've still got one surviving member of CN1 maintaining low profile in that compound. I have to say the guys from Stardust seem to be in control of this gunfight at this moment in time. We're at phase 3 of the game. 32 players left alive. 12 teams left contesting.
A very congested southern area of the zone as well. We've got one player from Team 12 left. We've got Jenna on his own over in the eastern side. Everyone else fighting over the southern half from sort of Villa downwards.
Bad Boys and Nemesis Gaming certainly maintaining position in the centre circle, not too far away from Team Big also.
Yeah, and we saw in the Miramar game, and it holds true with Vikendi as well. Getting the position, holding a compound, making sure you're in the best position, and you've got numbers in the late stages is vital. So it is worth the risk as you get later on to establish that hard cover.
Okay, this is our situation centre zone. So we've got Team Big out there. We're here with Nemesis Gaming.
Looks like maybe they're not engaging until they're just doing a bit of looting, just holding, and we've got Team 13, their bank account behind.
Not too far away also, yeah.
All looting, all established themselves in individual compounds here. Not going for the mad push until they have to.
So they've got good positions at centre zone, so they'll be looking to consolidate and hold that.
Yep, so each of those thinking they've got the right compound for the next zone, and we'll see where it shifts. Being Vikendi, it could be anywhere. But they're all trying to establish, you can see there's roughly centre zone, taking the bet that that's where it's going to be.
And our friends from Bad Boys are getting a few shots towards Nemesis.
Yeah, just waiting for the peak. There is on the roof there, Hayward.
And certainly putting some rounds into Hayward there.
Yep. Just manages to get down off the roof in time before he gets knocked. But Bad Boys here with 3 team kills.
Just basically looking at a little bit of fire suppression.
Yeah, Valentine here just laid down, just not prone into it to avoid everything, but actually just getting some good information, having a look round. And again, a fairly benign zone change. It's not a hard shift. So these teams really want to consolidate. Team 17 probably in the slightly better position because there's no one to the rear of them.
Okay, so here we are with Stardust Esports, and they're getting into it with Team Vassal. Potentially looking to rotate though. Pick up their other 2 teammates. Picking up some fire though.
Just about managing to avoid the worst of it, taking a bit of damage, but not too much.
And potentially looking to establish position inside circle on this high ground here. Use the reverse slopes.
Good move there. Get out of that gunfight. Get the high ground. Get the vehicle safely.
And here we are with Stardust Esports, and they're looking now also to rotate. Still coming under fire.
I said get their vehicle there safely. It's not that safe, I don't think.
Okay, so that's...
Okay from CM1 still having to rotate out of the blue now. And Team 6 and Team 23 in his way. So they're going to be engaging again very soon on the edge of the blue.
So... everybody got a little bit of separation up, but they're certainly aware of where the other players around them are. We're here with Poach from Hazard as a solo at the moment. There's another solo from GC out there, I think.
Yeah, so these guys have been fairly close for a while now. Poach, having managed to escape that original gunfight, has just managed to sneak in, and there's, what we got, 12 teams left. So doing a good job, probably going from hard cover to hard cover. And we see IQ Anger there with the AWM on B2 Night, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah.
Here we are with guys from squad number 5. This is for sale. And gets another great AWM knock there.
Shows just how important this weapon is if you can use it right. One shot there and establishes the knock. See the Vey Valkyrie's been taken down by the play zone, trying to rotate in. So we're down to 11 teams now. Gen do have, I know they've been knocked, but they do have a good position up there. They can use the rocks as cover, and they've got the high ground.
So phase 5 of the game, blue zone is going to start shifting on us in about 10 seconds. And we've got plenty of action now. It looks like the guys from Stardust now coming under fire.
Yep, under a lot of pressure now.
Muri doing his best to get the res on, but now just taken out. That was great work from the guys from Vengeance there. So they take a couple more kills, 6 for this team now. They are, however, still slightly outside the circle. And looks like
Poacher's left the hard cover and is actually making a fast rotation on the snowmobile there.
doing his best to rotate, but fears that exposed him somewhat to gunfire from the guys from Bank Account Team 13.
Yeah, he had to take the risk there. It was on his own. He was in the small little building. And he had to move, he had to do something, so just tried to make it quick and get it done with, but unfortunately couldn't quite make it.
So that's our situation. We're down to 26 players left alive, 9 teams still competing, and they've pretty much all got eyes on here.
Yeah, Spectre been taken down, so Fizz, they're both out in the blue as well, so health will be dropping. I don't think Fizz will be able to get over to get the revive on in time, and Spectre goes down to zone, having been taken down by Valentine.
So Bad Boys here, just surfing the edge of the circle. Looks like they've got a good location, they've got vehicles with them. More importantly, they've got all 4 team members up and running.
Absolutely.
Well, good timing there, Vimes. And just as Duck gets knocked, but should be a fairly easy revive. But there's our next circle, and these guys are out of it, so they've got a rotation coming up. And it does look like the guys from Nemesis Gaming, squad number 18, actually got a good situation now.
Absolutely, yeah. They're on the edge of zone in the hard compound. They can hold that edge of zone as well.
So the guys from Team Big here, establishing a presence. Very aggressively, centre zone.
Yeah, they've decided they've got all the vehicles in, they're blowing them, they're using them for cover. They've decided this is where their stand's going to be, right in centre zone. And they're making sure Team 18 know about it. They're not going to let it go without a fight.
So that may well help the guys from Bad Boys, who still have to rotate in at this point. They're pushing in very aggressively now by the look of it.
Getting some shots in, they're going for that's
and they're establishing knocks through the window, so the guys from Nemesis Gaming here certainly not getting it their own way, getting pushed on very aggressively by Bad Boys. And that's another Bad Boys, that's another Nemesis player knocked. So we're here with Hayward now.
Very aggressive push here.
And Hayward has now been knocked, so that looks like Flares here is the only member of this team still up and running.
Yep, manages to get the revive, but this is a very aggressive push from Bad Boys. And I think they may have finished off one player at least.
Let's check out our friends from Big again. I think Bad Boys, we're going to assume, are probably going to finish that one off. So Big taking this early position. Very aggressively, centre zone.
Looking to blow the car then, just behind Ibiza. They've taken this centre zone, but as we've seen in other matches, that means that everyone's coming at you from different angles and they want that centre zone too.
And, yeah, Big establishing some knocks on Gen Esports there.
Yeah, if Big can hold this, we're going to see some high kill counts here because they're going to have to defend it very aggressively.
Well, they are literally surrounded on this small hilltop here.
Yeah, great use of the vehicles as cover.
That's obviously a play that they've talked about.
Yep. They've left one side open.
And Anubis putting some rounds into bank account there. Doesn't quite manage to establish the knock, however. And they're getting fired at from absolutely every direction, these guys.
Yeah, we'll also see now, I mean, one thing about holding this early is making sure you've got enough tactical things to throw, enough smokes, you've got enough meds, and more importantly, with the amount of people they're going to have to defend from, making sure I mean, you can see them closing in from all directions on the mini-map. It's just making sure they've got enough ammo between them as well. Because
Absolutely.
they can't go out and loot their enemies. Unlike when a close gunfight in a building, you haven't got boxes to pick up from.
And there's our next circle shift.
Yeah, they're right on the edge of zone.
And these
Genesis are going to be pushed by the zone any second.
Looks like Bad Boys are managing to push in and have established a couple of knocks on Big here.
Yeah, Valentine has separated from the rest slightly, and he's the one that's getting the knocks on.
And they're coming under an increasing amount of pressure. Bad Boys, who we know are a very aggressive team, have already pushed very aggressively previously, and it might be too much for Big. They're getting knocked on from all sides here.
Yep, absolutely. So going for the revive, this is vital because I think Team 11, especially Valentine, are coming in for the push now. Although they're now putting under pressure from Jen, that might hold up their aggressive push. Valentine's having chunks taken out by Jen up in the north of this zone.
Yeah, Team Versailles still trying to make their way in.
Now, Big have held off using smokes, but I think they might have to start throwing some smokes now, just so they can establish their position.
And here we are with Valentine putting the hurt on Gen Esports there.
Yep, still one left over there, Fex.
So Team Big, still Big. Team Big, sorry, Bad Boys, my apologies. Bad Boys, still a full squad at this moment in time, pushing very aggressively into the hilltop location, occupied by Team Big.
Yep, and Team 17 now taken out. So Bad Boys have, with that aggressive push, have taken that zone. But Jen just managed to come in with the third party and take out a player as well.
So now Bad Boys have managed to establish presence just on the edge of circle. We're down to 9 players left alive, 3 teams.
Yep.
We've got Bank Account, we've got Bad Boys, and we got Versailles. And looks like Bad Boys will be going into this fight with at least 3 of their numbers. So,
yep, and they've got plenty of cover here. They are at everyone's edge of zone, apart from Team 13 there. Bank Account, they're actually pushing further into zone.
So they've got a little bit of cover in the situation that was occupied just a few moments previously by Team Big. Very aggressive play there, very gutsy, but ultimately not successful for them. Very, very aggressive push by Bad Boys. Not the first time we've seen them do it. So here we are, phase 7 of the game. Circle is about to pop, so we'll see who has to move. And that's not too bad for Bad Boys, although there's not a lot of cover out there for these guys.
No, and they can see that Bank Account, they can see roughly where they are. They've heard the shots. But Bank Account, they've got to rotate in. They've got a couple of players out, and I think that compound where Team Versailles, sorry, I think that might be just out of zone by a few meters. So they're going to actually have to leave the hard cover that they've got.
So we're here with one of the players from Bank Account, Gusick, getting into a gunfight with 2 of the guys from Bad Boys here, and they're dancing around this rock.
Yep, taking chunks out of each other. Gusick and Knight.
You get dizzy watching this, but ultimately Valentine closes that one out. So we're down to 2 teams now. It's down to Bad Boys and Versailles.
Yeah, IQ Anger, and we've seen how good he is with the AWM, but not quite managing to connect that time. All of Team 11 are in zone now, and I think Team 5, they are just a few meters out of zone. And there's the odd rock and the odd tree, but apart from that, there's just no cover for them.
There's absolutely no cover for these guys here. So what are we looking to do here, fellas? This could be interesting. Aggressive push straight into the tree, maybe.
Yeah, they're going to have to just go for it into zone, I think. No, they're electing to actually stay edge of zone.
Into zone, stay open, and that is a knock. So Anger, I think, is now the only person left up on his team.
Yep, very nearly taken out.
So you have to say the guys from Bad Boys have played a very aggressive, hard-pushing game, and it's paid off for them. And they look like they're in a very strong position here. Anger not going out without a fight, though. But ultimately, the numbers from Bad Boys are telling, and they take the win with some very aggressive gameplay, some very aggressive pushes, and some really great results there. Fantastic play from our team from Bad Boys. So Bad Boys in first place with 18 kills, very high kill count, 18 kills for those guys. In second place, we have the guys from Versailles. They pick up 5 kills, and in third place, we have Bank Account, and they pick up 6 kills. Okay, for our individual kill leaders, looks like we've got 8 and 7 for Rudy and Valentine in Bad Boys. Don't think I saw anybody lighting up quite as much as that. We'll have a quick check on the rest of the results table for you, though. A few people picking up 3. So, yeah, there's one there. Vengeance player Spectre picked up 5. But no, nobody's going to be able to top the performance there from Bad Boys with 8 kills for Rudy as our individual kill leader. Fantastic game all round, very aggressive, open fighting stuff at the end there. Okay, well, we're going to take a very short break. We'll be back with you shortly for a bit of post-match analysis and look forward to seeing you in our final game of this evening, which will be on Sarnock. We'll see you soon. Okay, hi there, boys and girls. Welcome back. Okay, Jamie. Yeah, some fantastic action at the end there, but you have to say, certainly, yeah, just some incredible, very aggressive pushes in the later stages of the game by Bad Boys there.
Absolutely, and what we saw was Team Big holding that centre zone. They went there early and they held it aggressively. They staked their area. They got the vehicles. They had the cover. But then you saw on the minimap just the number of teams that were coming for them from every direction. They aggressively defended it well. They took out a lot of players. But in the end, what told was from Bad Boys team was that aggressive push. And they made sure when they went, they did it hard and they did it quick, and they made sure that it counted as well. They had to. That was their decisive moment because it meant that they had the cover that Big had established, but with fewer teams trying to come at them from all directions. Yeah, that was the telling point, and really aggressive push.
Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting game. We didn't get the very aggressive zone shifts that we were talking about initially. I mean, I did when I saw Big take the position they did. I mean, I thought it was it's a very aggressive play to stake your claim in an area like that where you are literally effectively almost you've got virtually no cover. You've just got the few rocks you had, blow your vehicles. Certainly very aggressive play, and certainly one I'm assuming that they've probably worked on. I can't imagine they found themselves in that situation by accident. Yeah, ultimately there were just too many guns on them, I think, at the end, and that very aggressive push by Bad Boys, who ultimately really didn't have any choice when the zone broke. They had the blue at their back. They had no choice but to go forward. Yeah, that just proved a bit too much from Big there. The aggressive push from Bad Boys, but also getting third partied from some of the other teams that were firing in towards them.
Absolutely, and one thing that surprised me is when Big established that the hold in that centre zone. They didn't have hard. They had sort of rocks and trees, and they used the vehicles for cover. But 50 meters away, there was a compound. Now, I'm not sure if Team Versailles, Team 5, who came second,
yeah, they were in it.
Were they in that compound already?
Yeah, they were already
right. Okay.
They were already established in that compound, and when the final zones broke, actually, it didn't really help Bad Boys or Vassell, to be honest, because Vassell had to push forward out of their compound. Bad Boys had to push out of the cover that they'd established and taken from Team Big. So ultimately, both of these teams had to come together and fight it out in the open, just using smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's what I mean. I thought when Big established that centre zone, I thought maybe they'd have gone for the compound, because if you're going to establish somewhere, even if it's not very centre zone, you want hard cover. Instead, they had to use the vehicles, which meant they had cover, but not enough in the end to cover them from all angles. And like we saw, they were getting shot from every single angle.
I mean, that's certainly a play that you see quite often when it goes. When you end up with these sort of very open finishes on Miramar. I mean, you certainly see that quite a lot with people using the contours in the ground, establishing their position on the ridge. In fact, the guys from Roz Squad did that in Game 2 very effectively. That position there, I think, was probably just a little exposed, a little too open. It literally was the only sort of prime hill feature in the terrain there, and certainly got to give it to him. I mean, that was a very interesting tactic. And had they pulled it off, we'd all be sitting here now saying how bold a move that was, and how telling it was. It didn't come off for them, but you have to say probably not due to any sort of lack of tactical awareness by Team Big there. I think Bad Boys were basically going to clear anything that came in front of them during that last push.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to say, it was a bold move, and it didn't quite pay off. But you still have to, congratulate them. And they found the area. It was the best of bad cover that they could find between two rocks and a tree and a couple of cars. And they held off the rest of the teams, and not just holding them off. They were taking other teams down as well. So you still have to congratulate them for that. But I think, like Team 11, like Bad Boys, aggressively pushed them. I'm wondering if they could have aggressively pushed Team Versailles for the compound, for the hardcover. Now, we know in the end that hardcover was out of zone a couple of zones later. But it would have meant that maybe they're, towards the edge of zone, and they wouldn't have teams firing them from every direction, and they would have hard cover. I'm wondering maybe if they'd have been a bit more aggressive like Bad Boys were, they could have taken that zone. I don't know. Like you say, it may be something they've practiced, and it's an area they know.
Yeah, but certainly have to give a bit of a shout out to Fitzy. Tell him his boys did good. The giant grubster that he is. So I'll certainly be giving him a chat after we finished. Okay, so we're coming into game number 4 of the evening. One of my favourites, Sarnock.
Yep. Well, Vikendi is great for squad play because of the variety of the terrain, the variety of the types of buildings you get, and the size. Sandhawk is just sweaty, snaky, whites of their eyes gunfighting. You don't get big long snipes like you do in Miramar. Very little, very rarely do you get any sort of rotation using a vehicle. And you can get some wild zone shifts as well. And there's the possibility, and we've seen it in a couple of scrims recently, that you can actually get some a lot of water in the late stages.
Yeah, certainly if it breaks on that area just outside of boot camp where you've got the 3 coastlines there and the on the river, and if that's still centre circle sort of coming into phase 6, 7 of the game, that can be very difficult to rotate, because if it pops to one of the other land masses, you've now all of a sudden got to swim across the river, and you just know there are going to be guns on the high ground.
Absolutely, yeah. Up on those cliffs to the west of boot camp, it can be great if you're in zone there and people are being pushed towards you. It's great. The difficulty is if you're there coming out of boot camp because it's gone to the northwest island, you've then got to try and somehow rotate across that stretch of water. People will see you on the cliffs, and people will be waiting for you. And it can be a very open area. But equally, if you use the bridges, that's very open too.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what we get from the drop. The last few times I think we've covered TipTop Scrims, we've noticed that maybe we might get a bit of a fight in and around boot camp. But I think the last 2 or 3 times we've covered Sarnak, we've actually seen nobody dropping Paradise.
Absolutely, we've had 1, sometimes 2 teams in boot camp. Maybe with 1, we've seen one scrim where we had a team up on the hillside, and they were third party, and once the 2 in boot camp had done with their fighting.
That was toxic. That was toxic, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. But like you say, we haven't seen many teams dropping Paradise in these scrims. I don't know why. I'm sure there's some tactical reason.
A lot of people seem to drop not too far away from it, and then if they don't hear a lot, they'll go in there sort of in the after they've got looted, and then go in there maybe to see if they can get some loot. And we've had some fights, sort of 7-8 minutes into the game, where a couple of teams have tried that. But I don't think we've actually had a drop gunfight in Paradise yet. So we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. We're just about to go into the game, so it'll be game number 4 of the evening. So some great action so far. Hopefully, we'll carry on in exactly the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, one area in Sandhawk that we do tend to see some early gunfights is areas like Painan, where people are trying to establish near centre zone, or the centre of the island, rather.
Okay.
We've got 72 2 players. So not quite a completely full lobby, but still good numbers.
Everything, I think, seems to be working.
And your graphics card is finding out just how many people are trying to render in at one go.
Yeah. Yeah,
you're putting it to work tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, you like to make it work.
Now, of course, Sandhawk, everywhere is in reach, unless it is an absolutely brutal flight path. Pretty much everywhere is in reach from the jump.
Yeah, here we go. So we're going straight over Painan. Boot camp certainly in range.
Yep. We've also seen a lot of action around a lot of teams seem to go to the Northwest Island, and there we go. A huge number of teams dropping early. Hartin, Camp Alpha, around those areas. And we've seen teams around the northern bridge here, between Hartin and Tapmock. Seems to be a very popular place. Just in case the zone breaks, it means they can rotate.
Okay, so we've got there's a lot of people's a lot of squads heading up to Hattin, actually, isn't there?
Absolutely, yep.
That's squad number 23 by Victus and Vengeance. So,
yep. And we've seen a couple of teams to the eastern side of that bridge as well.
There's another team that have not too far. I think there's another team as well, so I think we might.
Yeah, we've got Vengeance, Victus.
Getting a Vengeance here and
Team Versailles. Or Versailles, sorry.
Come on.
A Spectre taking down Hawk already.
So
and I think establishing taking the kill as well.
So here we are. We've got Team Versailles getting into it with Vengeance. Anger, who did such great work with the AWM in the last game, has taken some damage. And looks like these guys from squad number 5 are under pressure here. They've already had 2 knocks. I've still got the parachute in my ears.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Looks like
Akio Anger's been taken down. So
looks like Anger's now been knocked. Shushu is well out of that one.
yeah, Anger doing some great work in game 3 with the AWM. Now look at these guys. Look at that first zone. So these guys were right to take the risk and go up to the Northwest Island. And again, like we said, no one's in paradise.
Oh, God. Thank you. Get rid of that whistling out my ears.
Yeah. So it turns out Vimes knows what he's talking about. No one's dropped paradise, just as he said. Team 19 have dropped just on the outskirts.
And yeah, but they've also got some of the guys from Nemesis Esports not too far away. And there's our zone shift. And yet, the kind of thing we were talking about earlier with these coastlines can play havoc in the later stage of the game. That's certainly potentially on the cards here.
Yep. So I think we've only got one squad in boot camp.
Yep, team number 24. They dropped Villa last time, so they quite like their hot drops.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we're here with B4V.
I've just taken someone down. I'm not sure who that was. I think that may have been the straggler from Team Versailles, who ran from one fight straight into another.
And they got Arsenic Esports the other side of the river there.
Yep. So Pikachu up on that high ground there. That's a really good position, especially if you got that bridge is in play. If people try and rotate using that bridge, you've got really good sight of it.
We'll just have a quick check on the situation. So we've got a lot of people dropped around the southeastern coast here, so they've got some lengthy rotations.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Sandhawk. It's not the distance you have to rotate because it's not that far, but round every rock, and we say it every time, anyone could be snaking anywhere, so you can't just run flat out like you might do on a Miramar. You can't just take a vehicle because you're just as likely to have someone around the corner. So you have to be really careful and rotate slowly.
I've certainly covered many a scrim event, Jamie, where I've covered you running at least 1,800 metres on Miramar. I don't think you go there to fight. I think you go there for a run, mate.
Well, what I'm trying to do, as you know, is get 1,800 metres away from everyone so I can then take the M24 out.
yeah, that'll be a good shot, even for you.
Because if you can see your enemy, is it even really fighting?
Yeah, it really is, mate. Oh, dear. So here we are with Vengeance Spectre on a little bit of high ground here. It's a fairly quiet start, Jamie. We've only lost a couple of people so far.
Yeah, a bit of early contact, and now everyone's consolidating positions, getting looted up so they can rotate into zone, or like these guys, they're holding the zone they've already got.
So certainly with this this circle the way it is, holding this high ground, not a bad idea.
No, I mean...
Might find that they might want to... this is the thing, though. I mean, the two schools of thought. Loot aggressively, get as much gear as you can, or loot up, basically. Kill the first players you come into contact with and steal their stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Team 24 now. They've looted boot camp, and they're heading up towards the northern bridge here. About to come into contact with Raindrop Esports.
Yeah. And that's a couple of players from team number 24 taken out now, and yeah, that's 2 taken out.
Yeah.
So we've got was it Fairy and SKR, not too far away with this one, but ultimately just a little bit too separated from their teammates to render any assistance there.
Yep. Getting some shots back on Raindrop though. Using the door as cover, slightly risky in case they blow the door, but putting it to good use.
I just had images of you doing your best Michael Caine then, mate.
I hadn't even thought of it. I'm dying to do it now.
You really can't do it, mate. You really can't do it.
Of course I can't.
For a start, I think it's only English people get that joke.
Absolutely. So Raindrop's got their player back up now. But you can see they've left boot camp and they're all they're all gambling that it's going to be some action around the northern bridge here. A huge number of people up in that northern area.
So we're going to jump down now to Team Big. They're in the middle of a gunfight. Anubis has been taken out. And that is Team Big wiped by our winners of game number 2, Roz. So, yeah, lighting up the kill feed again, these guys. 4 kills, and most importantly, they're going to come out of that fight with all of their team members up and running. So, great work from those guys. Well done.
Yeah. So, yeah, a couple of teams down in the south. Now, it seems a lot of teams are gambling that the zone's going to go north. We've got a few on the northwest island, a few just sort of on the north coast there. I think I saw Team 22 have actually split a little bit, and they've got players on either coastline.
Okay, so back to that fight we were covering earlier. It looks like our friend SKR here is the only member up, but he flanked out to the right and took a nasty knock on one of the guys from Rain there as they came in for a fast push.
Yep.
Great work.
And managed to get the thirst as well. Really good. Drops a nade and then rotates to a different rock. Just trying to not confuse them, but just making sure they don't know exactly where he is.
So aggressive push there from the guys from the duo from Rain there, covered by their teammates up on the higher ground. But that's cost them a player.
Yeah, so here we go. So kids coming, trying to their rotation, try and come up behind SKR, while the other two put some fire in just to distract him. But SKR actually disengaging from the fight. I think he may have heard some shots behind.
However, yeah, just changing his location again.
Yeah, just in time as well.
Hard cover. Yeah, I think Kid was certainly looking to catch him unawares there. And, yeah, stands his ground and Kid takes him out. So that is the squad wipe. So here we are now with PDX. Not too far outside Paradise.
Yeah, so as you said, so it looks like we're going to be a northwestern finish. Nobody in the boot camp area, although Jen are going to rotate in and find the remnants of what Team 24 have left behind.
Bad Boys look like they're carrying on their way, so I think they've just established a squad wipe on Nemesis, I think.
Yeah. So we see, I'm just trying to see, so we've got a couple of drops on the Northwest Island, so there's going to be a couple of people well kitted there.
Okay, we're here with PDX Gaming. They're getting into it with Arsenic Esports.
And that nade, what a hell of a nade.
That was
a knock on 009 there.
That was a hell of a nade there.
Arsenic.
And the rest of his team are a little bit away here.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they are actually. Yeah, they're very separated.
So maybe WI9 going for a scout and has run straight into Arsenic Esports and paid the price for it. Now got some guys from Vay Victus not too far away from this fight also. It looks like Vay Victus are now also coming under some fire.
Yep. And in fact, that's them taken out now. So between Arsenic Esports and Raindrop Esports, Vay Victus has been taken out.
So we're down to 47 players now. And we've still got the situation we were discussing before the game, Jamie. All this coastline, all still in play.
Yeah, it just adds a bit of chaos as people try and cross. You know, if you're in the decent part of land, you can head towards the coast and actually try and gate people coming across the water.
Here we are with our winners of game number 2, Roz. Getting into it with guys from team number 13, Bank Account. There's a lot of teams around this area.
Yeah, so no lying down snaking for these guys. So we see Team 11 there. Bad Boys coming into it with Paradox, Team 15.
Okay, we're here with TipTop and looks like... Now, look like we've got some guys from Hazard Gaming actually out in the water, and they've got GC, I think, in front of them.
Now, I'm wondering if they've seen Team 16 and decided to swim around them across the water and maybe try and flank them without them noticing.
We've also got the guys from Roshock not too far away from this fight. And yeah, I don't know if the guys from GC might not know.
Oh, yeah, they do. I think they've been spotted.
Well, they know now. So that's guys from CM1 coming under some gunfire there.
Yep. Just can't get rid of the grass out of his scope. Are we going to go for the 6-8 spray? Here we go.
Beautiful work there. Was patient about it, lined it up and gets the knock.
Very efficient firing as well. Didn't just spray for no reason, just wait until at the perfect shot. Used hardly any bullets there for the knock and the first. And we see Hazard gaming down there. We see Hazard poach. And I didn't see who the other one was actually. There's a couple down there.
Poach and
Ahmed as well.
Ahmed. And they're still having a bit of a peekaboo with the guys from CN1.
So phase 3, 13 seconds, 10 seconds to go. And look at that. So all these guys that went to the northern side, it's working out for them.
Yep, absolutely. So these guys now in this gunfight around this southwestern part of our current circle, they've all got to move. And as we know, nearly every rotational Sarnock takes place on foot, so that means early rotations.
Yep, and look in the north there, Team 6, Vengeance, holding Hartin. They've got a player either side of Hartin. They've got 2 players to the south, so they are covering a huge area. They can see across to the west of Hartin, they can see across the water to the east, and they're covering to the south as well.
Okay, we're back with our friends from game number 3, Bad Boys. And I think they're aware that they've got one of the players from, Rain Kid from, there we go. And Rain Kid putting the knock on Knight there, doing great work.
Yeah, got the drop on Knight there. Knight knew exactly where he was.
Rudy in a gunfight here with a couple of the other players from Raindrop Esports. So that is Knight and Duck from Bad Boys taken out.
These guys fighting just over just on the edge of zone here.
Rain Kid doing a great job there, getting pushed on, but took a very effective kill.
That's a great position to be in. He's got the rock one side, he's got tree the other, and the only people on the open side are his teammates over on the other side of the hill. So he's got the watch over on Team 11. I'm sure he knows they're down there somewhere. He can hear the gunfire.
And I think he's looking
for the push.
Yeah, M762 comes out up close and personal.
Okay, sneaking around trying to cook the nade.
Oh, but one comes straight back at him. Yeah, the guys from Bad Boys read that one. We are in phase 4 of the game. Zone's going to start pushing in about 50 seconds.
So all of these guys are going to have to move. So Kid here is going to... there we go. So we can see him now.
Certainly had a quick look at Valentine there. Valentine's almost trying to bait the shot out of him.
Yep, he's waiting for him.
Comes round for the jump shot. And Kid doing another great piece of gunfight in there. And
individual gunplay.
And some support from his teammates up on the high ground there. That's a great wipe from the guys from Raindrop Esports.
Yep, and he's got 20 seconds now to move into zone.
Okay, well that's taken out the whole eastern side of the map. So we are now on the Northwest Island. So we are going to be around Hattin and the high ground. Sometimes get very interesting finishes when it's up in these mountains.
Absolutely, and you see Team 8, they'll have the high ground overlooking Team 6 here. Although Fears, up in the north, is just making sure he's got eyes on the bridge and the waterway. And we're going to see one of the very few rotations with a vehicle.
So rotating hard and fast across the bridge here, and they will certainly draw some fire doing this. Deciding to go fast and aggressive was the only way.
Yep, so Fears here,
and they've gone straight into Fears from Vengeance there.
So they don't know how many people here are up in Hartin. There's actually only Fears was the only one. The rest of his team are further south. And then you've got Team 8 up on the mountain there.
So very fast push from Raindrop Esports there after taking out the
Hailu takes out Gen Caps.
the last two players. So let's have a look at our situation. We have 9 teams left alive, 20 players still contesting. So look at this high ground here. We've got the guys from LT not too far away from Ross Squad and also being overlooked by B4V.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get the peak on here. They've got the overwatch. The other thing, of course, is if the zone shifts, then you just can't get off these mountains. So that's the risk you take. By being up high, you get great vision across this part of the map. But if the zone shifts and there's someone behind you, you can't make your way up to get away from them.
Oh, yeah, I've certainly died falling off this or jumping off this mountain a few times with a blue at my back. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the opportunity to get down onto the low ground there and rotate if he needs to at this moment in time.
Yeah. B4V holding the very high ground there.
But there is our next circle shift, and absolutely everybody's going to have to move now.
Yeah. So we've got... so LT are the only team that are even on the edge of zone at the moment.
We're here with Alpha Wolf, managed to make it across the bridge, but coming under fire from some of the guys from Raindrop.
Yeah, and his teammate Genio having been knocked. He's got in out of the blue, but this is a very difficult position now.
Rain Kid also taking on some of the guys from Arsenic Esports, just thirsting up.
So Alpha Wolf here, I mean, 10 seconds to go, absolutely stuck. Just lasting as long as possible now.
And
is he going to let the blue? No, he's going to go for it. Going to take the fight to Kid.
comes over the side of the bridge, and what an amazing knock on Kid there, but his teammates ultimately doing the business, but that means that the guys from Raindrop now really got to move.
Yep, they've got the vehicles, but they've got to get out of that blue. That's starting to hurt. We're in phase 5, and that blue is starting to hurt them.
Okay, let's check out B4V. We're here with Hailu getting into it with Silence from CN1 TipTop.
Yep, B4V and CN1 both very good gunfighting teams, and we've seen Silence with some great gunfighting previously.
And we've got the guys from Ross Squad not too far away.
So trying to get the revive on, but I don't think he's going to have time, and these guys have now got, here we go, we've got to try and get off the high ground.
And don't yeah, you've got to pick your place.
Yeah.
And
so down to 5 teams, 10 players. 2 from B4V here on the high ground.
So we're here with
kept by Roz.
We're here with Ross Squad, and Ross Squad got all 4 members of their team up and running.
Yeah, 2 of which are in the zone as well, including in hard cover.
So they're gatekeeping the zone. 2 of their members still involved in a gunfight with B4V.
Yep, these guys are just making sure that no one's, even if they do make it into zone, they're not going to make it easy for them. They're going to have to go the hard way, which is going to be through Roz or off the side of a mountain.
And this blue is really starting to push on people now, and Hailu has been knocked, and I just can't see these guys getting off this high ground at this rate.
No, phase 6, he's going to have to leave his teammate, unfortunately. It's just not going to have time. So his teammate's dropping meds for him, I think. Health going down in chunks, but he's still going to get off the mountain.
No, I don't
think this is going to be a case of healing.
I don't think he's going to make it. So we are here with the last surviving member of squad number 8, but taken out by Kozin from Roz Squad.
Yep. 4 teams, 7 alive, and we've got a couple of those 7 are out in the blue as well. So I think this is going to be Jen versus Roz for the finish.
So Fex doing his very best to come in with the zone here. Looking to get a knock on Rod Squad here. Yep, manages to get the knock on Cosmin and on UCU, but ultimately is taken out. Fantastic and at the fantastic gunfight at the end from our player from Jen, but ultimately the numbers from Rod Squad and the great zone control from Rod Squad proving definitive in the end, and they take the dinner, their second of the evening. Okay, in first place, Rod Squad. These guys pick up 9 kills. In second place, we have the guys from Gen. They pick up 4 kills. And in third, we have B4V, and they pick up 5 kills. Nothing stands out too much. We've got 4 kills for Benzar there. Another 4 for Warper.
Yeah, keep going. You got the Raindrop team. We've got Barbecue with 4 and Kid with 6.
Yeah, so Kid certainly had a very, very good very good game. So that's our individual kill leader at the moment, Rain Kid. As we come down, we've got B2 Knight with 5. And I don't think we're going to get any more than that. So I think it is Rain Kid with 6 who takes the individual kill leader there. Congratulations to all of the guys who picked up wins this evening. A couple for Ross Squad there. And yeah, you have to say, Jamie, pretty much how they established their win in game number 2 on Miramar, really. Just very, very good use of the zone there, making sure they controlled the zone, even though they were in a gunfight with B4V, effectively denying the ability for B4V to get off that mountain, but while still guaranteeing that they had placement inside of circle.
Yeah, and this was less of a sort of stand-up gunfight finish, and this was more tactical, because what they did, they made sure they had one of their players was in hard cover. It was the hut was the only hard cover left in the zone. And so while everyone else was fighting the blue, the rest of the players, their job was to make sure no one else could get into the zone. Rather than where we've seen fights at the end of the zone and, lots of great gunplay, this was very tactical. 3 players to hold off all the rest of the squads, make it difficult for them, and make sure that even if they got into zone, they were beaten up, so that their one remaining player who was in hard cover, full health, had no issues, could just take the final kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say the guys from Raindrop Esports, so they certainly got involved in plenty of gunfighting, and at times really didn't get the luck of the draw with regard to the rotations they had to make, but got involved in a great gunfight with the guys from Bad Boys, our winners of Game 3. But ultimately, they were in fact taken out. But some great work from Raindrop Esports there. But yeah, you have to give the guys from Ross Squad credit. They really did control that final few phases of play very, very well indeed, and didn't give B4V many options at all.
No, B4V, like we said, they had the high ground, which, can be brilliant. You can get some brilliant snipes from up on that high ground. But exactly as, we both said, the issue with it is you've got to have an exit. And unfortunately, their only exit was through the blue or off the edge of a cliff.
Yep. And the 2 remaining players from Ross Squad who were gatekeeping them there just had no interest whatsoever in letting them get out. As far as they were concerned, their team had location inside of zone. If that could stop a team like B4V from making an effective rotation, then that was only going to help the team. So it's a very interesting play, but an excellent way to control final phases of play there.
Absolutely, and it meant that they like we said, they weren't getting involved in just pure gunplay. It was really tactical. They were just doing enough to make sure B4V just couldn't walk into the zone. Taking small chunks of health, the odd nade, just make sure B4V knew they were still there, so they couldn't just have an easy rotation into the final zone.
Yep, absolutely. So we've had some pretty cracking action this evening. Again, apologies for the game crash in game number 1. Not really a great deal we can do with that. It happens to everybody at some point. Yep. But I'm very, very pleased we managed to get some good footage for you in games 2, 3, and 4. Apologies to whoever won game number 1, but yeah, that's just the way that it goes sometimes. But some fantastic gameplay, couple of wins there from Ross Squad. I have to say, if I were going to pick my most interesting play of the evening, I think for me was that occupying centre zone by Team Big on Vikendi. Very, very bold, but ultimately couldn't work out for them.
No, absolutely, and yeah, and we said that was a really good idea. It worked for ages. but in the end, just the sheer number of people that were shooting at them. But then also Team 11, Bad Boys team, who eventually got the win. Their really aggressive push. They knew they had to take the risk, because if they were going to take the win, they had to get rid of Big and they had to take that ground. And they made sure when they pushed, it counted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think individual performance, I mean, Rain Kid certainly had a great one in Sarnock there. But I think it was Forever, wasn't it, from CN1, who got into a fight with, when he was the only member of his squad still standing, managed to drop 3 of them, and then got third-partied by Arsenic Esports.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I think that was a pretty exciting phase of play. Well played from everybody. There's some great individual gunfights going on, some very, very good tactical team rotations. Exactly what we expect to see from players at this level. It's always an exciting event to cover. So I'd like to thank our guys from TipTop Esports who organise and run such an excellent event. Thank all of you for taking part, and for those who watched and participated in the stream chat there. Very grateful to my co-host for the evening, DH Jammy. Thank you very much as always, buddy.
Thank you.
Cool. Man, a few words as our Jammy until somebody starts shooting at somebody else, and then he won't shut up.
We've been calling out and commentating on so much great action. My throat's going.
Yeah. Well, it's well ahead of you, pal. Thank you very much to Jammy and all the guys. Another fantastic evening of Scrims. I believe we'll be covering TipTop Scrims for you again on Thursday evening. So hope to see more of you then. I'm Vimes177 Gaming. Thank you all for taking part and watching the stream. And as always, good hunting and bye for now.